Welcome to Speakeasy Spirits. We've been gone for a few weeks, but we're back. I was traveling, you're going to see that in an upcoming video. Also, it was my anniversary, and I was fighting a cold, but we're back now, and just in time for the seasons to change. It's starting to get cool outside, the leaves are turning orange and brown, and where I live, it's apple season. So let's take a look at a couple of cocktails that use fall flavors and apple juice. This first cocktail is one of my fall favorites, and it will probably appeal to anyone who drinks old fashions and other simple whiskey cocktails. This is called Elder and Wiser. For this cocktail, we're going to need bourbon. I'm using Maker's Mark, elderflower liqueur, and apple juice. The Elder and Wiser was created in 2006 by Simon Difford of the Difford's Guide. His recipe is a shaken cocktail, but we're going to make mine as a stirred cocktail. So start with your mixing glass filled with ice. To that we're going to add 1.5 ounces of bourbon, ¾ of an ounce of elderflower liqueur, this is going to add a nice floral note and some sweetness to the cocktail. And finally, ¾ of an ounce of apple juice. Simon's recipe calls for using an unfiltered cloudy cider, but I want this to be a crystal clear drink, so we're going to use a filtered Martinelli's apple juice. Now you want to stir that. The key to stirring is to keep the back of the spoon against the outside edge of the glass as you go around. And you want to stir that until the glass is cold to the touch outside. Maybe condensation starts to form. That'll tell you when you have enough dilution and the cocktail is cold enough to drink. Now we need a rocks glass and a large cube of ice. I'm going to use this Skull ice left over from Halloween. If you want to know where to get the Skull ice molds, I'll have a link in the description to the Amazon page for them. Now, strain the cocktail over the ice. And you should get this beautiful crystal clear golden color. For a garnish, I think a strip of lemon would work really well. Let's cut a couple inches of lemon, express that over the drink. And go ahead and drop that in there beside the ice. There you have the Elder and Wiser. This is a delicious fall cocktail. The apple, elderflower, and bourbon all work fantastic together. It's slightly sweet. You still clearly get the bourbon, but also the floral notes and the sweetness of the elderflower liqueur. It's a great cocktail. I think I would like to try adding a few drops of black walnut bitter that I think would work really well with the apple. Give that a quick stir to mix. The black walnut bitters definitely adds a little bit more complexity. The nutty notes work well with all of the other ingredients. That little bit of bitterness helps offset the sweetness of the Saint Germain. It's a really good cocktail. If you wanted to try another great fall variation on this cocktail, I'd recommend replacing the bourbon with some Applejack. This Laird's Bottled and Bond Applejack would work fantastic in this cocktail, really kick up those apple notes. Maybe a few drops of Angostura bitters in there to add some of that clove and baking spice to the apple. This next cocktail is called the Triple A. It's going to combine apple juice, absinthe, and almond syrup or orgeat. Now at first the herbal black licorice taste of absinthe doesn't seem like it mixes well with apple juice, but believe me, this cocktail really does work. We're also going to need 1/4 ounce of lime juice. Since we're using citrus, we're going to shake this cocktail. So let's start with 1/4 ounce of lime, 1 ounce of apple juice, 1 ounce of absinthe, and half an ounce of orgeat. We're going to shake that with ice. And strain it into a coupe glass. For a garnish, I'm thinking a slice of apple. There you have the AAA. Now this really doesn't taste at all like you'd expect. If you've had absinthe before, you know it can overpower a drink. But even in equal parts with the apple juice, all the ingredients combine to make something that's smooth, easy drinking, has a beautiful apple taste to it. You get the herbal notes and a hint of the black licorice, but the almond and the lime juice help to counter some of those flavors of the absinthe. It's really surprising, but this is a delicious cocktail. It's a good introduction to absinthe if you've never had it before. Overall, a delicious cocktail. Here you have 2 great ways to kick off fall: the Elder and Wiser and the AAA. A couple delicious apple cocktails to get you through the colder months ahead. I hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.